And we're back, guys. I'm your host, Good Energy. I give you the rundown on tennis coverage every day. We're going to take a look at Wimbledon, SW19 Day 2, and the upset heard all over the world. Marketa Vondrosova, the defending champion, eliminated. That's right, Buzos Moreno from Spain. Fuego, ladies and gentlemen, bounced her up out of there. Now, I was watching this match. Marketa was up 3-2. She got the break. She had the opportunity if she could have held to go up 4-2, but she would end up losing 80% of the rest of the service games for the entire match after that point. And look, just seeing Marketa play, just seeing her carry about her normal business, I just get the vibe she's quiet, she's reserved, and she's not really here for all that attention. I get the vibe that she's here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. And you know she seems quiet and reserved. And when you're a champion, there's a lot of commitment, there's a lot of press, there's a lot of obligations. And I just felt, I knew it coming into the tournament that she was over it before it even started. And not that she couldn't have won this match. I think this is a match she should have won. If these two ladies play 10 times, Marketa will probably win 9 out of the 10 times. Marketa's a junior slam champion. She's a former junior number one. She's a solid player. She's got a good variety. Her game is good on grass. I just felt like she was over this whole scene, and a lot of players are. I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes, but a lot of players, it seems like they don't want to be here. And the reality here is Marketa is eliminated. Booz has played well, though. Perfect on breakpoint opportunities, 5 for 5. The world's ranked 83rd, won nearly 80% of her first serves and 70% of Marketa's second serve. And that's Booz Moreno there. Beautiful tan. Look, she looked good today. She played well, and she deserves to make it to the second round. Another huge game check for her. Congratulations, young lady. She advances. What about Ludmila, ladies and gentlemen? That's right, taking on Rebecca Masarova. Now, Ludmila is the world ranked 15th. She's the second highest ranked Russian from that country behind Dasha. Listen, she would have won 72% of her first serves, 4 for 8 on breakpoint opportunities. For most of the match, she won 70% of Rebecca's second serve. And that's good enough for what? Yeah, check the balls, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you wonder why tennis players don't just grab one ball, why they want normally 3, the good servers, the players that are looking for an edge, they're rotating the balls looking for the newer balls, right? The newer balls, of course, it's gonna give you a lot more speed and power on that serve. So that's why they rotate them out. They're looking for the balls that look the newest, and that's gonna help their offense. Now, Ludmila, ladies and gentlemen, gets the victory. She advances. What about Bernarda Pera, the American, taking on Potapova? Gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Bernarda Pera, she's ranked 84 from the World Tour. She's your 13th ranked American. That's right. She's right on the heels of Taylor Townsend, Aston Kruger, and Katie Volynets. Volynets has a tough match today, guys. I don't know that necessarily that's going to be a lock. Stay tuned. I'll give you more free preview and prediction videos. That's coming up next. But this would go 3 sets. Bernarda Pera would get the victory, not before committing 16 double faults. And Potapova had 9 of her own, but I guess 72% of the first serves was enough to get Potapova up out of there, ladies and gentlemen. Mary Boo Headband Gang in the building. Nothing much to say here, guys. Buskova straight set victory, 6-2, 6-1, and she will advance as she takes out Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, Julia Herrera. Novak wins. Nothing new there, ladies and gentlemen. How about Anna Kalinskaya taking on Panna Yadvardi? Listen, Panna Yadvardi, she's starting to blossom. She looked good. But this is a straight set victory for Anna, probably any day of the week. 6-3, 6-2, 81% of her first serves won. She advances. What about Katie Boulter, the number 1 ranked British player? She's taking on Tatiana Maria, who plays well on grass. She was robbed a few years ago. Remember, they weren't giving out points. She made it to the semifinal, taking on her bestie, Ons. It seems like Ons is so liked on tour. She's so loved on tour, rather, that everyone's her bestie. It looks like Sabalenka's On's new bestie now. Do you see them dancing all the time before these tournaments? And On said it best. Maybe if I get a tiger on my arm, I'll play like Sabalenka. That's hilarious. Ons is a jokester. But listen, guys, Tatiana Maria, good defense, but Katie Boulter just put those balls away today. She put those balls away today, ladies and gentlemen. 78% of the first serves won. Straight set victory. The first set did go to a tiebreak. Maria put up a fight, but just wasn't enough. She couldn't find the right ball as Katie Boulter advances, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, how about Big Mama Asta? She put up 7 aces today. Now, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Isla Tomljanovic. I really don't like to pick against players that I like. I want to see them do well, but this is a match where Yelena's is too strong. She's too powerful, and she showed that today with 11 aces. And Iga wins the world's #1. I mean, what do you expect, guys? She's Iga. Sofia Kenin, oh man, she's struggling, guys. Remember her dream? She said as a little kid, her goal was to be #1 in the world. Now, she hit #4. If she would have won that 2020 French Open, then she would have become #1 in the world. That's so sad. But look, I just have so good memories. Remember Venus Williams gave a young Sofia Kenin a shot at playing doubles with her. That was so cute, ladies and gentlemen. Venus now, is she going to retire? We'll see. Long head, don't care. Leylah Fernandez, guys, taking on Lucia Bronzetti. Ciao, Bella. Now, Leylah Fernandez would win 80% of her first serves. And Bronzetti, like I said, look, the backhand across court, it's tough. It's big time. But Leylah's going to have the opportunity to hit too many passing shots with her athletic ability. And that's exactly what happened, ladies and gentlemen. What about Angelina Kalinina? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This was a tough match here as Angelina would be bounced up out of there. 8 double faults. She would literally lose for most of the match. 80% of her second serves. Look, headband gang in the building. She looks good, but yeah, she's out of there. Caroline Garcia, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Caroline Garcia, I say it all the time. She is just solid, right? She's got that Alicia Parks type of game. Remember Alicia Parks defeated Caroline Garcia in Lyon, France? Now, Garcia has that type of game where a lot of people doubted her. She comes forward. She's unconventional, much like Alicia Parks. But listen, guys, taking on Anna Blinkova, I say it all the time. She's going to go as far as her conditioning. She's a good shot maker. She's solid. But yeah, not here. Caroline Garcia wins. What about Francesca Jones, ladies and gentlemen? An amazing story. Petra Martic, Team Vegan in the building, and Team Vegan advances. That's Robin Montgomery, fool. That's Coco's bestie. Listen, the crafty lefty junior slam champ, former junior #1. Listen, she would literally be clutch when it came to saving break points in this match. She would win this match in straight sets, backed by winning 71% of her first serves for most of the match. Coco said, watch out for the Americans this year. Haley Baptiste, high ranking on tour. Robin Montgomery breezes through qualifiers. She's going to possibly hit her highest rank on tour as well. Listen, we got a new future of American tennis players. They are on the rise, ladies and gentlemen. And what about Yulia Putintseva? I talked about Angelique Kerber and how, I don't know, man. Is it time, guys? What do you think? This is just a bad matchup. Yulia Putintseva with the short balls and the drop shots. How would Angelique chase these down? Look, Yulia, very, very great odds in this match. How could you not take Yulia to win? That was a lock, ladies and gentlemen. As Kerber still checking for the strings on her racket. And how about Dalma Galfi still wrapped up? That pains me to see her wrapped up like that. Her and Diana Snyder. But listen, guys, Mayor Sharif, this was a good match. Did you miss it? Dalma Galfi, she's playing good ball lately. She really is. And she's someone you got to watch out for. The disappointment on the day, yeah, guys. AP Alicia Parks from Atlanta, Georgia. Carolyn was not having it today, ladies and gentlemen. She took Alicia Parks to school. Now, this was in the back of my mind, Carolyn she just beats Svitolina. She's a veteran. She's very experienced, She's tenured. And she's the type of player where if she has a good coach, which she does, right? Her father's been her longtime coach. But nonetheless, any coaches she's had over the course of her career, she's so skilled and good. They can tell her the game plan. Look, attack the corners, go down the line. She's such a good shot maker. Just tell her where to put the ball for a strategy, and it's going to work. And in this match today, it really worked. This just came down to experience, putting Alicia Parks in situations where she had to make tough shots, and she couldn't do it. Woz got the victory here, guys. She looks good though. She hasn't been healthy all season as she advances and Kerber goes home. This is how she did it, guys. Alicia Parks only one ace. That's not going to get it done. Five double faults. But listen, guys, the unforced errors, guys. That was big, big, big in this matchup here as Waj put Alicia Parks into a lot of tough situations there. I mean, she had literally nearly almost 10 times the unforced errors. That was the match there as Waj played defensive. She attacked the corners. She made Parks return in uncomfortable situations. Just look at the total winners. Anytime you see a match this lopsided where there's not a lot of winners, it's very strategic and they're making the other opponent beat themselves, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what happened here. Guys, what do you think about Ons? Ons does what Ons does, styling and profiling. She takes out Uchima. This was a good match. I mean, for the most part, Uchima did put up a fight. The score didn't really reflect necessarily, I felt sometimes when you take a look at a score, it could be misleading, right? Where you see, let's say a player wins 6-2, and a lot of people ask this question. So let's pivot. A lot of people ask the question when they're looking at tennis matches, and the score might be 6-1 or 6-2. What you got to realize is if you're broken just a couple times in a set, the score could be lopsided. And it's not necessarily reflecting the quality of the match. So, for example, someone can lose a set 6-2. But if the two breaks that let's say they serve first and they lose the set off of two breaks, getting broken twice by their opponent, both of those breaks could have went to deuce, right? They could have held tight and just double faulted or missed an easy volley or something. A lot of times don't necessarily look at the score and think it was a blowout. You really have to watch the match. But one thing we do know is Ons is still the best shot maker in the world, and she put on a good performance today. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, Katerina Siniakova looked really good against Takuzik. She's due to the next round. Now, I do want to talk about and pivot a little bit. I want to talk about the withdrawals, right? Arena Sabalenka. Now, Coco mentioned today in the press conference that, and by the way, she is playing doubles with Pegula. A lot of people think that Coco should move on from Pegula. Me personally, here's what I think. This is my opinion. This is an exclusive. So listen, this is going to be juicy. I feel that they're good friends. They've been playing doubles for a long time. But I do think it's to the point where it's very competitive, and when someone knows your game, they possibly know a lot of your secrets. It's one thing to watch film, but it's another thing when you're actually playing with someone every day and practicing and just playing many tournaments throughout the year with them. You start to know their game, their tendencies. And do I think Coco should probably find a new doubles partner? I think it's her choice, but I think it wouldn't hurt to find a new doubles partner. And the reason I say that is I think Jess, she's calm, she's relaxed, she's quiet, she's reserved. Coco has a level that's inside her that she hasn't tapped into yet. When I look at Coco's game, I say her game it's probably maybe a 6.5 or a 7. And that's scary because she's really good at that level. She's about a 7. She's not an 8, 9, or 10. She's still developing. She's still growing. She's still building muscle. She's still building her experience, right? She's still building ways to construct the point. She's still learning out there. And when I saw her play the French Open with Katerina, now Katerina is a Golden Career Slam winner when it comes to doubles, right? She's won every double slam with Barbora. The reality here is she has a fire in her that's able, and she's a fire sign. I'm pretty sure she's either a Leo or a Sagittarius. She has that edge in her that can bring out a different side of Coco. And I saw that, just yelling, pumping her up, getting in her face, cheering her on, respectfully. She's not, you already know, everyone loves Coco, but just in a respectful manner, just trying to pump her up. Jess can do that, but it's just not her style. She's not going to do that a lot. It's not her demeanor. It's not really in her, right? She's more quiet and reserved. Classy woman. I love Jess, without a doubt. So nothing ever bad to say about Jess. But I do think Coco could and look, Jess and Coco have made it to some big matches, some big finals, right? They've lost slam finals together. They've been runners up. But, I mean, you take a look at the French Open where Coco made the finals a couple of years ago, singles and doubles. So she's done big things with Jess. But the reality here is, I do think, and by the way, Garcia won that, and Christina. But I do think that playing doubles with Jess can it. I think it's hurting her singles career a little bit, because reality here is, I think she's playing a little bit too much doubles. But also take a look at the Berlin Championship or semifinal. That was Coco's title. And when you're playing so much tennis with a person that knows your game and your tendencies, it can benefit them. So I do think Coco should probably pair with Katarina moving forward. Of course, they can't play the Olympics together, but Coco, she didn't make the Olympics on the double side anyway. So, and by the way, some robberies for the doubles players for the Olympics. That's not the same format as the best four with doubles. It's literally one team. So that was sad to see, some of the snubs for the Olympics on the double side of things. But I do think Coco possibly should move on and play with Katarina. I think they make a good matchup, and also size wise, Katarina and Coco, they're about the same height. I think Katarina's a little bit taller, whereas Coco, she's taller than Jess, and it kind of presents a different matchup, right? She has to play a different game when she's playing doubles with Pegula versus Katarina. She could actually play cleanup sometimes, and she could play deep while Katarina plays the net. So it varies. And I think with Jess, a lot of times Coco's going to be the taller player in these situations where she might be playing the net a little bit more, where she can't really use her backhand, right? With Katarina, she's got good reach. She's very good at the net. She's very experienced at the net, good defense. So I think she should pair up with Katarina moving forward. That's just my personal opinion. Now, I do want to talk about what Coco said about Sabalenka. Coco did say that Sabalenka, look, she seemed healthy, right? Last tournament. So the fact that her shoulder is bothering her, Coco said, I just wish, pretty much a speedy recovery and that she's okay. Now, they were possibly on a collision course here. That's not going to happen. My pick was for Coco to win her quarter and for Coco to win the Wimbledon championship. I do think she will win it. She will definitely be in the final. We're going to see if Iga gets slipped up. If Iga doesn't hold her own and gets slipped up by Ostapenko or Rybakina, wide open for Coco. Now, I think that a lot of the Russian and Belarus players, I don't think they're getting the respect they deserve, right? And we've heard Vika say in the past, look, stop asking me questions about Russia. I'm not from Russia, right? And the reality here is players shouldn't really be judged by what their country's doing, because a lot of these players have already spoken up about their stance on these situations. A lot of these politics, they have nothing to do with it. These players are athletes. They're tennis players. They're not politicians. They're not war generals. I think they deserve a little bit more respect, because a lot of them have said in the past they're pro-peace and they just want peace. So I do wish in the near future these players start to get a little bit more respect, because I felt a lot of these withdrawals, they're about respect. And is Sabalenka injured? I think possibly she is, because I mean, if you take a look at the timeline she's had recently, withdrawing from the Olympics, deciding to not go back, to clay, deciding to focus on hard, withdrawing here from Wimbledon, there's something up. But yeah, she's partying and she's having a good time with her significant other. But the reality here is, I do think she's possibly injured. As competitive as she is, and I've said this in the past, I've seen all the players practice, and Sabalenka's got one of the hardest training practices I've ever seen. She's very committed. She's very dedicated. And the fact that she pulls out of a Grand Slam, I think for sure she's injured. So that does concern me moving forward, because I do think if she's going to win more slams and championships, which she definitely will, she can't be in that number. She can't be in that number 3 spot. she's going to have to get back to number two. But again, I think if Coco's going to win more slams and championships, which she definitely will, I have Coco finishing her career with double-digit slams. Coco has got to stay in that number two spot. She's got to meet Iga in these finals. She can't be in the number three spot or the number four spot. And I think Coco knows that. She's going to have a big finish here at Wimbledon. And I think she's going to medal in France as well. Guys, stay tuned. Free predictions. I'm your host, Good Energy. Hit the super thanks. Like the video. We'll be right back.